everybody. My name is Roger Richards and I facilitate spiritualonline.org. You're about to enjoy two wonderful meditations that were given within the one live interactive session. And this is to do with empowering the subconscious mind, the first part. We have some discussion in the middle, and then we conclude with the second meditation, which is working with the healing forces of Gaia, of Mother Earth. So that in itself is an act of service in the vibration that you can bring to the earth field. So if you'd ever like to sit in on any of the interactive sessions, you can follow me or contact me on the links below, and then also check out the other videos and sessions that we've got on the website. We also have a Patreon account that is being set up, and hopefully we'll see you on there as well. So enjoy, and I'll chat to you again soon. Bye for now. We're just closing our eyes and we're just slowing down our breath. And for people who have done this plenty of times, you just go through at your own pace, if you like. People who knew, as I'm breathing in, I imagine that I'm breathing in light and breathing in light right into the center of my head. So I take a deep, long breath in, drawing in what I consider light, which contains wisdom and knowledge and connection to the cosmos. I actually hold my breath for a few seconds. And as I exhale, I'm releasing, first of all, any physical stress in my body. I'm breathing in light again into the center of my head. Holding my breath for a few seconds. And now as I'm exhaling, I'm just letting go astrally of any emotional feelings. So I'm really neutralizing my emotional body. For anyone who does any esoteric work, channeling or readings, whatever it is, I think very essential to put all of your emotions aside and to come in with a very clear auric field. It takes a little bit of discipline sometimes. So just breathing in light at the moment into the center of our head. And the out breath, just again, imagine that we're releasing any frustrations, any anger, any angst from the day, even any excess merriment and cheer. Okay, just trying to neutralize our feeling life. Now I'd like you to imagine around you a beautiful sphere of space around you in your room, and this is your sacred space. And if we project mentally a sense of a space that is reverent, it is sacred and holy, it is like preparing your home to welcome very high order spiritual guests. So think of the vibration that would be conducive for you to connect with the angelic realm, to connect with your spiritual guardians. You'll have a very fine, high vibration. And so we wish to make it as comfortable as possible for our spiritual friends to enter into our zone. And because a number of us seek to connect directly with Spirit, I like to prepare the group accordingly. Great Divine Spirit, we ask that you shine your light, your love, your wisdom, and your presence and protection upon our group at this time. Though we are geographically spread across the earth, may we be united on the soul spiritual world. Each of us come here for a slightly different intention, so each of you can set your own personal intention for the session, and I will set a general intention on behalf of the group. Great Divine Spirit, we come here for our inner development, to develop our soul capacity, that we may be more fully incarnated with our Divine Spirit, that we may serve our life purpose more readily, with more illumination and understanding, and also with more love and empathy for all living beings. Some of us come here for healing, some for knowledge and wisdom, some for social connection, whatever it is. May each of us receive something that will help us on our pathway that serves our higher good. Now we can also appeal to our personal gatekeepers to protect the space in which we sit and ask that any spiritual impulses that we receive come only from the divine source that serve only our highest good. Now we'll go through our chakra opening. So above your head is your crown chakra, and imagine a portal above your head and just sense movement, and it could be in the form of beautiful soft amethyst light, subtle stream just coming from a high spiritual dimension through the portal just above your head and streaming gently down through your mind, through your upper body, down through your torso, down through your limbs, and out through the arches of your feet and deep, deep down into Mother Earth. Imagine that flowing right down into the core of Mother Earth, grounding ourselves and also acting as a spiritual conduit between Earth and the heavens. And then from deep in Mother Earth, her own stream of consciousness and goodness coming up through the arches of our feet. And again, we serving as a conduit between Earth and the heavens. And may we also be harmonized with the pathway of Mother Earth and the frequencies of goodness of Mother Earth. Now we move down to our third eye, and here imagine you're drawing in a very soft but deep blue, clear vibration, bringing psychic impressions, bringing clarity of thought. And allow this vibration to blend gently with the amethyst. You can imagine that you're breathing in through your third eye. And we move down to our throat chakra, beautiful turquoise vibration. And you can also imagine that you're breathing in words of wisdom. Moving down to our heart chakra now, twin vibrations of a beautiful soft pink and a soft green, two opposite colors, the polarities of love, coming into both chambers of your heart through your heart chakra. And imagine your spiritual guardians and angels streaming their cosmic love and cosmic connection to you through your heart. It is all around you, your whole auric field now. Imagine it or sense it being bathed in the vibration of universal love. And indeed, often working with us is a brotherhood or a white brotherhood who keeps watch over a number of us and guides us, and also usually provides an initiate to work with us. We move now just from inside of your physical heart, imagine there's your own spark of warmth and divinity deep in your heart. And imagine that is now just shining out through your auric field. And wherever you walk in the world, may these forces, these heart forces of your own, just ripple out and be shared with everyone that you pass by. And you can consciously expand this, particularly when you run into people who you think are lovely people but having a hard time. And we move down to our solar plexus, and here we're normally depicted in a beautiful yellow vibration. And through this portal, we can actually, I like to imagine that my higher self is walking through a doorway and now walking into the energy field that ordinarily wouldn't be able to sustain it in my earthly form. My higher self is walking through a doorway, standing before me in light and splendor. So I can actually connect with my higher self, and also when I leave this session, also be a little bit stronger in standing upright in my own integrity and truth. And also have the confidence in which to speak those words of wisdom through our throat chakra. And moving down to our sacral chakra, And here we can imagine that we're connecting on an emotional sphere with all people, developing empathy, emotional connection and understanding and intelligence. And now moving down to our base chakra, usually depicted in a beautiful, vibrant red. And I like to imagine that I'm drawing in that energy, the etheric energy from the forests into my being, and having these life forces drawing up through my spinal column and then streaming out to every pore within my physical body. And often, if anyone's stared at a colour long enough, like a coloured blue dot or something, then close their eyes, you'll see the opposite. So the opposite of a green forest is the red vitality of this base chakra. So I think of a green forest, and then my soul responds with the beautiful, vibrant red. And now I'm just appealing to my helpers in spirit to help harmonize and balance the energy field that is around me. And I'm imagining now that any superfluous vibration of particularly emotions is just falling away like ash back to the earth, so that my soul shines brightly through all the earthly material difficulties of our day-to-day life. I'm just going to sit in this vibration for a moment. Now I want you to, each of you, to consider any physical ailments or emotional difficulties that you have. Give it your full focus for a minute or so, and imagine that you are drawing healing forces to that aspect of you. And if you've got a physical ailment, it may well be somewhere in your subconscious mind mentally. So it's concentrating on our own personal healing for a few moments. Imagine through your breath that you're drawing these forces deep into your physical body. Now, we've been asked, or I've been impulsed to think about this idea of the power of our mental mind and the power of our subconscious mind, and how it plays out on our physical and emotional health. So I'd like you just to consider, the theme would quite easily be as above in the mental plane, as below in your physical plane. And just concentrate exclusively on this theme for 5 minutes or so, and then I imagine that the spiritual guide will come through and speak with us in connection with this. I'm just going to keep our breathing deep and rhythmical and focusing on as above in the mental sphere, as below in our physical being. So everyone else, just stay focused on this theme of as above, so below, as in our mental sphere, so it plays out in our physical sphere. As you're doing that, I can feel quite an intense pressure of light above my head, and I know it's like a portal being formed for me to connect with a spiritual guide. So the invitation's there for anyone to click on their microphone and share if you make such a connection. They wish to speak, and they're going to come from a different perspective altogether. My friends, you can consider us to be like a guardian over those who are awakening upon the earth, or in fact over all of humanity on the earth plane. And I want you to consider for the moment the power of your media and the fact that you can tune in your devices to any frequency and receive transmissions, whether it be through your phones, your devices, your televisions, and pick up frequencies and transmissions from a number of media sources. But so it is in the spiritual plane. And we consider the mood and the thinking that prevails upon earth generally. And then there is a considerable gathering of us on the spiritual plane who will meet in what you may consider a form of meditation. It is more so a form of mental projection, where we will project and transmit a certain frequency or combination of frequencies upon the earth, which for those, particularly those who are sentient enough, will be cognizant of changes in their being and of changes in their thought patterns, and even shifts in the relative purpose and functionality of your lives. And for some of you, there is a calling which is quite obvious and is a call to action to awaken your spirituality. For others, there is a subtle impulse for people to reconsider and perhaps reapproach aspects of their life for the betterment of all. And so there is like a prevailing mood and a prevailing thought pattern, which is attenuated by those of us who work in the higher spheres and who are tasked voluntarily with the role of serving and helping humanity awaken and be guided through what may be considered troubled times in your world. And to help us in our mission, would be wonderful for each of you to be able to attune to what is needed in the frequency of Mother Earth and all living beings upon it. And also not only living beings upon it, but other conscious beings who are present within the sphere of the earth, but are often outside the sentient range of human beings. And as you hear the saying, as above, so below, well, there is a reverse reciprocal effect. And as there is a vibration below, it also affects what is above in the sphere of the earth and also in the sphere of the spiritual worlds. And for you to attenuate and to align yourselves with what may be considered a cosmic decree for the higher good of yourselves personally and for humanity generally, is for you to address your own subconscious frames of mind Consider the frequencies and vibrations which are running through your own personal fields, often without your awareness, because that is what the subconscious is. So for each of you on the spiritual pathway, for you to contemplate what is it that is within your subconscious mind, to find the patterns that don't really serve you, to find the patterns that perhaps in fact sabotage you, or inhibit you, or give you a limited or a false perception of reality and possibilities, and then put in corrective or healing measures to open yourselves up holistically and really to improve your whole being on every level, from above to below, and then the reciprocal back through the chain, back through the hierarchy, your own personal hierarchy, and then to the hierarchy of the angels and the spiritual guides and others who watch over you. There is a responsibility, a personal responsibility of self, which goes hand in hand with those on the spiritual pathway. And the more that you are able to keep your own house in order, to keep your own mental vibration, particularly on a subconscious level, in order and in a very wholesome manner, then the gateways to your super consciousness, the gateway to you opening up more cosmically to the higher realms, becomes more readily accessible, and a broader frequency of transmissions will become available to you, whether it be through downloads, realizations, understandings, directions, impulses, dreams, premonitions, and also the capacity to manifest and to heal. It all begins with your personal mental field of frequency and vibration. We are here to help you globally, but it is really incumbent upon yourselves to take the responsibility to heal yourselves personally and align yourselves accordingly to the greater good. And we will leave you with that thought, my friends. Many blessings to you all. Put out a call for anyone else who wishes to connect at this time. And if this is something that's unusual for you or you haven't tried, you're more than welcome to try and speak a few words just from a meditative viewpoint, a meditative mindset. Going to stay in the zone for a few more minutes. What I'd like you to do, and you may have already done this a few minutes ago, but we will do it again more deliberately. And now I want you to imagine that there is like a crystalline veil of vibration coming around you, very pure, very transparent. It is coming around you like a beautiful sphere. And within this sphere, this crystalline sphere, it gives you the power to make the subconscious mind more conscious. So as this vibrationary field comes around you, you can now reflect onto it your own thought patterns and see some of your deeper thought patterns for what they are. So you are sitting in it like a mirror of crystalline clarity, which is reflecting some of your subconscious thoughts back to you. And now you can imagine or perceive any limited thoughts that you have, the source of anxiety that may run through you, the source of any fear of authority or lack of self-belief, and go through these layers that you may have running through you. For some of you, it may even be the feeling of not being able to receive love or give love. For some of you, it may be a subconscious pattern of lack of abundance, poverty as distinct from abundance. Where did that come from? Is it there? Maybe one of courage and confidence, or lack of. Where did that pattern come from? And where is it now? Just go through these different combinations. See what you see and perceive in the reflection. I'd like you to imagine now that there's going to be a similar cloak of light being brought around us. This time the light is more intense and it is much brighter. And part of the purpose of this light, this frequency, is to bleach any false patterns of thought, to bleach them out. Maybe not necessarily to eliminate them, but to moderate them, tone them down. So imagine this bright frequency coming through, and the intelligence of this frequency, it knows only to address false, limiting beliefs that do not serve you. Now there is a silvery, purplish amethyst frequency being overlaid now, which is bringing in the forces of more abundant thinking and more abundant possibility, and more propensity, if you wish to change and to evolve above these patterns. So just allow these colours to sweep through you, to immerse yourself in them, these frequencies. Imagine these working through the very pores of your skin. working into your physical body even, into the life force that runs through it, the etheric field that runs through it, and then even deep, deep down into the bones themselves. And imagine this heavenly frequency of light over enlightening the earthly heaviness that has accumulated within us, including these heavier thought patterns that have manifested into our body. So there's light frequencies working deep into our physical body now, cleansing, restoring, neutralizing where it needs to, preparing where it needs to. Be aware of any temperature changes, any tingling in your body. Imagine it's traveling right down to your toes, right down to your fingers, right through your back space, out through the back of your neck, back of your head, around your face, around your throat area, and through your chest and torso, right around your body. Now imagine that you're drawing it in through your third eye. I've just been asked for us to physically rub our hands together. Physically rub your hands together, feel the friction, feel the heat. And then just when you're comfortable, bring yourself back awake. Make sure you drink some water. And just open your eyes when you're back with us.
Sorry, I was just saying that throughout the meditation, it was really lovely. It was very relaxing, and I felt tingles in my entire body. Really, like the energy was really strong, and I could just kept seeing this iridescent kind of waves of energy flowing through me. So that was really beautiful. But also a message came through, as you were saying. It was very interesting because I was struggling with the feeling the past couple of days, and it was almost like a conflicting feeling, because I was feeling very joyful and energetic and very loving, but then a lot of feelings, it's like I was absorbing some sort of feelings. And it was a feeling of guilt, and I was keep questioning where it's coming from. It was almost like conflicting, me feeling so happy, but then also thinking about other people and not feeling like, is it questioning, why am I so happy? Almost like feeling the sadness as well of other people. And I've been struggling with this feeling for a couple of days, but then today a very clear message came in that, as you were talking, it basically said, as you raise your vibration, others in that state of love and joy vibration will connect with you on that level. And you become a beacon for others on that level. And in that way, you help to assist and raise the vibration of others who are at this point in time, I feel, feeling really low and struggling with their own personal issues. And so that was very important, because it made me question and sort of almost instantly drop the conflict of emotion that I was feeling the past couple of days. And almost like an okay to feel like, yeah, it's okay to feel happy and joyful, even though there are other people out there who are struggling just know that you have to maintain your own frequency. So that message came through really strongly. It was almost like, empathically, I was picking up a lot of other stuff, but it felt like when you were going through the meditation, there were waves of vibration that was cleansing through the other vibration that was conflicting in me, and almost purifying my own vibration again. So yeah, that was interesting, actually.
Pamela, just through your experience and your own knowledge, how much of that would be the power of suggestion, and how much do you think would be you just really just linking into the same energy field objectively? Do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I think I was definitely linking into the same energy field, the one that you were sort of in, because that message came through very strongly.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. It was almost preempted by what I was feeling in the last couple of days. Almost like how you clean your own house, you are able to connect through the realms as well. And that message came through very strongly.
Look, I actually really strongly agree with you. I think that's exactly what happened with you. But you made a very interesting point before too, about if you carry a certain frequency or whatever with you can affect other people. So it may also well be that the frequency that I'm carrying with this can transmit to some of the other people potentially through the group energy as well. And I tend to think that's true as well. But
absolutely, you've
got a strong enough connection. You're, how would you say, independent of that to a fair degree. Yeah. Anyway,
no, I agree totally, Roger. I agree totally. But it was very, how can I say, it was very apt what you did today, because it was almost like, I don't want to say coincidental, but it's almost like synchronistic.
Yeah.
That meditation had happened today, which was something I needed to clear as well. But it's almost like I have absorbed a lot of energies around me. And like we were talking earlier, with everybody at this point in time, Mercury retrograde, going through their own stuff. So the energy and the meditation that you did was almost like a transmutation for everyone as well.
Okay. Thank you, Pamela, for that. And just in particular for, say, Lakshmi, Shane and Rak, who are fairly new to the group, I do not preempt any of these meditations of this kind of ilk before the session starts. So they're just brought through, and I probably wouldn't have thought it up even if I tried. So I just wanted to be let you know that's, say, Pamela, myself and others on here actually connecting to the same source with this in real time. It's just the way it goes. Alita, you got your mic on there. Would you like to jump in and share something?
Yes, I just wanted to share, when Pamela was coming on screen and you couldn't hear her voice, I saw an orb just fly across and upwards on her screen, which I thought it was really cute, a spirit orb. So there you go, Pamela, you got somebody with you. And also want to say to Fran, who said that she felt tingling in her blood. That's like when I channel, I feel spirit tingling all over my body. So I just wanted to acknowledge that spirit was with her.
Conrad's on screen. Conrad?
Yeah, awesome meditation. For a while, I kind of I felt there was this like a guy there, kind of like Himalayan kind of vibes, like an Asian kind of background man, and he was like sharing a little bit about like the mind, and the mind body, or like describe it as yellow, and he was talking about how it's one of the sort of like the fundamental parts of like being a human, and it's a very creative capacity. It's one of our great creative capacities, and it's a way that we connect with the environment around us, the earth and other people. So it's a way that we project outwards and create, and yet at the same time, it's one of the ways in which we can receive. It's like the mind weaves together all the sensory inputs that we have into like a thought or a belief structure, which I guess would just be a jumble of thoughts, and so it creates belief structures internally, and as a result, it's like emotional experiences internally, but at the same time, it can create external, because a thought, when held sort of deeply and strongly enough, becomes a word, and then that continues on to become an action. So it becomes a creative force outside in the world, as well as creative force inside of us. And at the same time, a thought ends up being a place that you can kind of step into. And we're swimming in thoughts all the time, from everyone. And so we can step into any one of these thoughts and connect with anyone else that's stepped into that thought at the same time. So it's like a network, almost like an internet, or a web, and sort of all these different levels and frequencies that you can step into and connect with others. And that's the way that we would connect with other beings around us, like the sky, for example, when we channel, step into that and connect and communicate there. So it ends up also being a way that we can travel through inner space, or dimension, however you put it. So a couple of thoughts that came into me, I'm just stringing them together. Yeah, that's basically the impression.
Okay. Right, so I'm just closing our eyes, and we're just going to revisit this picture of this auric field that is around us, our sacred space. So at first, it's just like a soft ethereal light. Now we can do this an easy way. Okay, we'll do this an easy way. We're going to stay within our own sphere. We don't need to move out of it this time. We're going to work in an inverse kind of way. So I want you, first of all, just be aware of your body weight, where you are sitting, particularly your feet on the floor, your bottom on the chair and the back space. And now we're going to click back into the light sphere around you. And I want you to be aware of the difference. I want you to be aware of the difference between the physical weight of your physical body and then the consciousness you can have within this sphere of light, which is sort of in front of you. So there's part of your conscious being which is actually in front of where you are sitting, just in front of you. And you can be aware of the space that's just in front of you. And you can elevate yourself like a mist, like a steam, just into this space before you, just your mind and your consciousness just sliding a little bit out of your body into the area in front of you. Now, you don't need to move your hands for this. We can imagine we're using our spiritual hands. Now, I'd like you to imagine your spiritual hands at least are in front of you. And I want you to imagine that there's going to be like a ball of light within your hands, within your spiritual hands. Now, working in spiritual space, there is no 3 dimensions. There is no distance, there is no size. It just is. Now, in the palm of your spiritual hands, I want you to imagine Mother Earth. And this could be the entire energy field of Mother Earth that is in your hands. So from where you sit, it could be that your hands have expanded around Mother Earth's energy sphere. But we can do it in the mental plane, which has no distance, no space. So in the palm of our spiritual hands is the sphere of Mother Earth, the energy field of Mother Earth. And now we're going to project around it the same crystalline, clear, crystal quartz type energy, the frequency that we were first given in our earlier meditation. We're going to project this thought of a pure crystal vibration, like crystal quartz, around the field of Mother Earth. And it is like a subtle sheath of frequencies, layer by layer, crystal quartz, beautiful, clear, clarity frequency, enveloping Mother Earth and then descending in through the field, through the spheres, through the dimensions of Earth's being, and right into the core of her physicality. And we can continue to send waves of this crystalline, crystal quartz vibration so that people have the capacity to see themselves subconsciously and awaken to their false beliefs and their limitations, just as we did en masse. We keep sending this frequency across the sphere of Mother Earth. And now we're going to shift. Now we're going to bring in this silvery amethyst frequency, the one that can replace, and we're bringing in the bright light first, the bright light that bleaches the frequencies of limiting beliefs and false beliefs. So we're sending bright, bleaching frequency through limiting beliefs of the subconscious minds of humanity, sending it through the sphere of Earth, this bleaching vibration that we experienced earlier, sending it through the dimensions right down to the core of her being. And now we switch to the amethyst frequency, with the silvery flow, silvery light. This is like more of a healing, attenuating, aligning, realigning frequency. And you can think words like abundant, of love, of courage, of faith, of self-confidence, and a sense of reverence. There may be other qualities that you need, other virtues that you can send within this amethyst silvery light. And it is enveloping Earth from the higher dimensions and then descending down through the frequencies and right into the core of her physical being. Now we're going to send a different frequency. This is the frequency for the forests in the plant kingdom that provides us with air that we breathe, the food that we eat, and the life force itself around the planet, the ecosphere. And to the green forests we'll send the vibrant, bright red frequency of vitality. We're sending this bright red vitality frequency to the plants of Earth. even into the vegetable kingdom beneath our oceans, in our oceans, the seaweeds, the kelp, all the good things, the creatures of the sea. Now to the nature spirits and the nature beings of Mother Earth who sustain nature, we can just send a message of acknowledgement and a message of gratitude for the service that they have provided to humanity without recognition, or very little recognition. So it is conscious recognition of the elemental beings of nature. And similarly, we're going to send acknowledgement to the animal kingdom. We can send them a frequency of human love, frequency of acknowledgement, and also again a frequency of gratitude for what they provide to the ecosystem of Earth. Just in closing here, we're going to imagine the soft rays of a rainbow. Imagine a spherical rainbow around you with all the soft colors of it. Now just allow that to send or work as a healing conduit for you, just to reharmonize your own field. And your own body knows which frequencies to draw in more deeply than others. And use your breath to imagine you are drawing these into your body. Now just a soft, gentle, neutral light around us. Okay, now we're going to bring ourselves back into our room. So just now wriggling, be aware of your body where it is sitting back on the seat where you are. And bring your light body back right into your physical. Aware of your toes and your legs, your knees and your thighs and your arms, your hands, shoulders, back, front, your head. And breathe yourself back into your body. And open your eyes when you're back.
Thanks, Roger. That was very, very powerful, actually. It was interesting because that meditation that you did was so needed, I felt, today with, it taps back into what it was I was feeling originally from all the energies around me. So that was well received. It was interesting. The first wave of energy that you sent was the plant kingdom was the first one to come back and say thank you because they received it first, right? That hit. The second wave of energy, I saw it as iridescent waves, and that was received by all the people on a very mental and emotional level. That's how I perceived it. The third wave of energy, I saw it with the amethyst kind of rays, but that sort of came in as very violet to me. So it was mixed up with a lot of pink. And that went straight to the hearts of people. That's how I felt it anyway. It was almost dissolving a lot of emotional pain in the heart. And at the same time, it hit the animal kingdom. And that was greatly received because I think the animals, they connect more on a heart level. So that's how I perceived it anyway. So, and it was interesting because as you were doing it, then you went on to say that the plant kingdom and stuff. And then when I imagined the red, it was almost like a top up because it was like a red top up of glow on the plant kingdom, but not really as penetrative as the first wave of energy, if you know what I mean. And then and then also then the animal kingdom as well, because it was just multiplying in the waves of the love again. And then the last one, it was interesting because when you said rainbow, I'd already seen the rainbow before you said it. The waves of rainbow was already flowing on the streams of the energy vibes. And I was like freaked out because everything that you said was already received by my consciousness on a different level. And so I almost feel like I was tapping into the same vibration when you were doing the meditation. So that was very, very interesting. Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, thank you, Pamela. Yeah. And look, that's also why I so much enjoyed when you took the session a couple of weeks ago, you know, and I could just sit back and I just knew it was going to be good.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've got a lovely connection happening there. So appreciate it.
Thank you. It was really lovely. And also one more thing that just came to me is when the first wave of energy hit the plant kingdom, and you know how I've been talking about this theme about the trees and how it sort of links up. What I saw was when the trees got that wave of energy, it was almost like they sent it out to everyone or the people. And it was magnified in the people's energy field. So it was almost like they were sending out that vibration of love, that top up that you just sent in when you first sent it in. And it was sent out that way. So that was just phenomenal to see that as well. So thank you. And it was really, really needed. It was the perfect meditation.
My theory on this, Pamela, is that because, you know, up until now, we've been generally dependent on the spiritual world sending all this frequency down to the earth. But the fact is we are closer to the earth vibration than they are. We are physically incarnated here. So it is sort of more incumbent and more powerful if we can do this collectively. It is much more powerful than what can be done from a higher space. It's like the lower down through the frequencies that you can consciously bring it, I believe the more powerful it is within the sphere of the earth, of the physical material earth that we live in. And that basically challenges us in so many ways, this material physical earth. It's a dense place. So our consciousness can work more penetratively, I would say, particularly collectively. So it's my theory, you know, put it out there. Okay.
I can share something if you like.
Oh, thanks, Guy.
I started doing your meditation and then I just started getting something channeling through and I just thought I'll do some channel writing. Why not? I'll just write down what comes through and this is what I got. This is for everybody. Look at time. Try to grab hold of it. Notice that you can't touch it. It slips away as you try to pin it down. This is because it is an illusion. It is a projection that the mind casts onto events. The events, though, are real. What is not real is that these events are unconnected. Each seemingly random event in your life is related to every other event. When you look back on your life, you can see this, but it might not be clear now. But trust that this is true. So how do you apply this in your life? Pay attention to every event around you, to every comment. Everything you notice is there to help guide you in the right direction.
Beautiful.
That's a bit poetic there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There's yeah, and part of what you said too is an esoteric exercise that I used to do every night, and that is to review back the day and go over some of the events of the day, exactly how Gaia suggested, looking at the link and the meaning that's within them. So you're meant to do that like a daily review in reverse order every night just before you go to sleep, and it also meant to strengthen the ability to go into your sleep state and then bring back wisdom from the spiritual world, because it's strengthening the will of the soul to do it in reverse order. So yeah, so there's a few secrets in that one worth knowing. All right. Any final words of wisdom, Conrad, before we wrap up?
Oh man, not so much wisdom. Like just blown away by Gaia, your words, and Roger, your meditation. Yeah, just awesome kind of transitions through the etheric states, and I felt it was one of the most like generous like meditations that we'd done. Like I really felt my heart opening up and caring for all the parts of the earth. Yeah, I mean, just had a really, really, really great time. So yeah, thanks to both of you, and thanks to everyone.
Yeah. All right, so we just need to close off energetically before we switch off physically. So just put your hands over your solar plexus area to begin with, and just closing our eyes. We're going to take in a big long breath and hold our breath when you're full. Imagine your sacral chakra in particular slowing back down to its normal size and speed, so we're not going to take in too many negative emotions when we go back out there. And on the out breath, we're just releasing any psychic or other energetic connections that no longer serve our highest good. And then just a moment of gratitude to all that has been shared with us through the session, particularly the meditations which were given to me. So I'm just acknowledging the source from where they came from, because that's what really sustains us here. So my thanks to our spiritual guardians who've worked either directly with their thoughts or behind the scenes in holding the energy field that enables all this to happen, particularly so that we can all connect potentially into the same source, the same field, without a word being spoken, by the way. So great divine spirit, we send our thanks for all that has been provided to us this evening, and appreciate the light, the presence, the love, the guidance, and all that has been brought to us. And I'm just now wrapping myself in a little cocoon of protective light, nice and fine, because I'm in a good space energetically here, but some of you may need to go a bit deeper. And have a great few days or a great week. I might run into a few of you on Saturday Sydney time, which is Vanessa's Friday night. And otherwise, we'll be back on here in a circle next week. So a different link that ends in 66. And we'll be hopefully see you then. Okay, have a great week.